Probing Eye welcomes you back to its latest episode of Bus 1 Minute. Today, we are going to pay tributes to one of very well-respected journalists and a former editor of the Tribune, Mr. Redress, a man of professional acumen, an upright man, a professional who led from front, but he left us with a lot of good memories. Before we talk about him, remember to click on the bell icon so that you get automatically subscribed to all episodes of Probing Eye as well as Bus 1 Minute. Today, we are going to celebrate a great journalist, a man of principles, a man who respected ethics of journalism, a man who always held a common man in high esteem, and he dedicated his professional career for the betterment of a common man. He is a man who would be long remembered for his front page editorial, "No, my Lord." This editorial not only reflects the freedom of expression, but also the courage of an upright journalist who could take judiciary by horns, who could tell judiciary where it can go wrong. Hari Singh had two terms with the Tribune. The first term as an assistant editor, and then he came back in 1994 for his second term and with a promotion. This time he came as editor and worked as editor of the Tribune till 2002. I had an opportunity to work with him very closely because when he was editor, I was given the mandate to start the Tribune's first city pullout, the Chandigarh Tribune. And I used to interact with him about the layout, the design, the content, and what all we are going to do, because at that stage there were some other newspapers, local newspapers, including Indian Express, who were already bringing out a city pullout. And challenge was massive. So we planned, and he was a man who had lots of good ideas about common people. So he wanted the new city pullout to be a people-oriented, people-friendly, and a different from what the other products were available in the market. So we started Chandigarh Tribune, and it started very well with a front page interview with, at that times, beauty queen. She was Miss India of that time, Gul Panag. We decided what all we are going to put in our 3-page pullout every day, or 4-page pullout. And his focus was it should be more informative, people friendly, should contain all that people need, and how we can bring in youth, associate youth with our publication. So Hari Singh not was a great professional, but also he could feel the pulse of the people. He could realize, he could know what people want. And since media was on the upswing, it was coming up. The lots of newspapers had started from Chandigarh, and some other papers, established newspapers, they chose to make Chandigarh a new destination. So competition was growing every day. And he was a man who said, no, Tribune is the oldest and longest and most well accepted newspaper and a voice of people. So we have no competition, and it made us go. And Hari Jai Singh, he would take up all issues of common man's interest. So we started a number of columns like citizens and public offices, highlighting problems people face while even paying their bills, electricity bills, water bills, or getting their driving license renewed, or getting their ration card made, or paying installments or school fees in long queues outside various bank branches. So things like this, issues like this, then other side of city beautiful, and then also what is happening, when is going to happen, all those things, whether he would consider every minute detail well, so that we could use it as an effective tool to bring in new leadership and make the city pull out a complete paper for the people of Chandigarh. And it worked. Very quickly, we rose to be number one city pull out. And not only that, he was so attached to the ground realities. He would he could listen, he could feel the pulse of people. And when there was a major issue, Mohali had come up on the world map as a cricket center, and then there was a government change in Punjab, and the new government in Punjab, led by Mrs. Rajinder Kaur Bhattal, they wanted an inquiry against the then Punjab Cricket Association chief Inderjeet Singh Bindra and the new stadium he had built in Mohali. So they wanted an inquiry by CBI, and realizing that Punjab Cricket Association has done a yeoman service in bringing up a small township, a sleepy township of Mohali on the world map, Mr. Hari Jai Singh wanted me to do an investigative piece on how in India the governments have been helping sports associations in building stadia for promoting sports. So we did the thorough job. We investigated all cricket stadiums in the country, like Eden Gardens, Wankhede Stadium, Barban Stadium in Bombay, and all, okay, like whose land was it, and whether it was leased out to the association, or whether it was a government property, or whether it was an association running the show. So whatever, we investigated and came out with a full page special story on PCA Stadium, and that was one story which Mr. Hari Jai Singh wanted to put the record straight, and because he loved probity, transparency, he wanted public accountability, and that story set the controversy at rest and said that this was done in public interest and it is not a personal property, but the property belongs to people of Punjab, and it has brought some good financial returns. It has helped Mohali to come up as a new tourist attraction. So this is how he looked at things. And then there was a young woman, very well qualified. She had applied for a job as a teacher, but in spite of her high merit, she was ignored. He took up, Mr. Hari Jai Singh took up her case and argued, okay, like, what is the criteria for selecting people to assignments like teaching, very noble profession. So this was his outlook. This is how he preferred his journalism to go about helping people, helping common man. And believe me, he didn't encourage interactions with politicians or bureaucrats. He rather loved his old friends. When he was assistant editor during his first term, so his evenings would normally be spent with his old or long-time friends like Professor Kalra in Punjab University, Mr. Teji of Tejban Johar, of a very famous photo artist, or Mr. Anupam Gupta, a lawyer, or Mr. Sushil Kapoor, a banker and a Lion Club activist, or a bureaucrat, Mr. Tulok Chand Gupta. So he would prefer to spend his evenings with his friends than visit or allow politicians to visit him. So he had his own way of giving a message. So he stayed clear of politicians and bureaucrats. And there was time when, because he was an upright man who would not he wasn't afraid of calling spade a spade. That's why the governments of that time, they were not very happy with the Tribune's outlook, independent outlook, secular outlook, apolitical outlook, and some of the governments, state governments, they stopped advertising with the Tribune. They won't give official advertisements, but that won't budge Mr. Hari Jai Singh. He would go about his task unnerved, unperturbed. So he would go, he said, no, advertisement doesn't make a difference. When people are patronizing Tribune, when people accept the Tribune as their voice, so government ads don't bother me. So that was his outlook. And he was like a man who would stand by his subordinates. He would trust his subordinates. He would support them. And that's why, though he led from front, but we always felt that the Tribune management didn't do justice to him. He was never made editor-in-chief. He came as editor, led the Tribune to #1 position, and introduced so many new things. He introduced the internet edition. He introduced some of the pullouts like login, some of other pullouts which were the need of the time and which could attract you to the paper. But then his merit, his work, his output never got compensated with just a minor thing, only a title from editor to editor-in-chief. But that never it never reflected in his work and his outlook. And recently he had a stroke. He was hospitalized, and then he bid goodbye to the world, but left behind lots of pleasant memories we all cherish. We all had an opportunity to work under him. He was our mentor, a guide, a thorough professional, a perfect gentleman, and above all, a complete professional. So it's time to pay tributes to him, and we all join his family in praying to the Almighty to grant peace to Mr. Hari Jai Singh's in his new heavenly home. So we keep on talking about people who have been shaping destiny of the states or the people they work with, and their memories stay fresh in our minds all the time. So stay tuned, and we'll keep on talking about other such issues in coming episodes. Till then, bye.